Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another character breakdown for Marvel's Contest of Champions. Today, we are looking at one of the copy-paste heroes in the roster. Now, fortunately, there's not a lot of copy-paste characters, but this is one of the older ones, and of course, it kind of fits that bill. So let's talk about how this character works and behaves, that being Superior Iron Man, why he is different from the regular version of Iron Man, and a couple of my thoughts as to how this character needs to be overhauled in its entirety. So let's talk a little bit first off as to why Superior Iron Man is cosmic. And that basically goes back to the fact that Tony Stark found a way to harness a symbiote and turn it into a suit. And this is not the only time that he's done this, because he's done so with a couple of different versions. This particular one is Model 51, and it basically is something that he can summon on command, and is a more living version of his suit than most, if not all, other versions of them. So because it is symbiotic in nature, it does make sense based off of where symbiotes come from that it falls into the cosmic category. But that's really about the only thing that sets it apart, because it's just kind of a footnote, because on all other levels, things work identical to the regular version of Iron Man. But to refresh our memories, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about how that works. So when Superior Iron Man is attacked, he has a 17% chance to gain an armor up buff for 6 seconds, which will increase his armor rating, therefore making it a little bit more difficult to take down. On the Special 1, there is a 70% chance to inflict an armor break. On the Special 2, there is a 100% chance to inflict a stronger armor break. And on the Special 3, there is also a 100% chance to inflict an even stronger armor break than that which is applied on the Special 2 or 1. That's really all that goes into the special attack animations, and the only other thing to really discuss about Superior Iron Man is his signature ability, which again is identical to the signature ability of Iron Man, meaning that he will gain a burst of health regeneration, which you've seen in that very first fight against Hulk is a very considerable amount of health, totaling to be over half of the health that the character possesses once the health drops below 15%. And while that health is regenerating, there's also an armor up buff that is applied that is significantly stronger than the passive armor buffs that he can gain through receiving other forms of contact over the course of the fight. So yeah, this character's kind of bland, and I don't mean that in a terrible, awful way. But if they're going to keep the regular version of Iron Man the same and not really overwork or change him at all, this is even more grounds to make the cosmic version of the character more dynamic and really kind of overhaul him. The easiest of the suggestions that I can make is to completely change and reanimate the special attack animations, change the properties that they use, make it very unique to him. Maybe go ahead and use a series of repulsor blasts, maybe 1, 2, and then a unibeam from the chest, so one from each hand repulsor and then the larger concussive blast. I feel like that would be a really good animation to use for the Special 2, and you could even use the same type of attack pattern that you see from Havoc, where it's 1, 2, a small delay before that third larger blast. I think that that would work really well. And then you could double down into doing more of a melee-based combo, the Special 1, just to really mix things up and make them more interesting. And then maybe even for the Special 3, you could include some sort of animation where Tony Stark exits the Iron Man armor, especially since it can just kind of melt off of him. That would be a really cool animation to see. Have him just kind of beat into the opponent, or have the suit kind of mold around the opponent, immobilizing them in place, while Tony does something more up close and personal before getting back in the suit and delivering a devastating blow. I just think that there's a lot of potential that you could do with this character, especially as awesome as the symbiote really is. Another thing that's really obvious here is the fact that most cosmic characters in this game are very buff reliant. They rely on having a lot of buffs that are active over the course of the fight. So the same thing should really be applied to Superior Iron Man. You should give him some Fury because that taps into more of the primal nature of the symbiotes, and it's things that we see from Symbiote Supreme. Venom the Duck, Venom, as well as Carnage. I mean, that's all very integral things to the character's mechanics, is buffing up their damage, whether it's in the form of precision, cruelty, or fury. And then you have the defensive applications in terms of the armor up. And I know that he already has that. Give him a better chance to armor up. Give him better armor ups. Give him a chance to turn the timed armor ups into passive armor ups. Physical resistance. There's a lot of really awesome changes that you could make to this character. I think that a really good or fun way to do some of those things would be having the ability to re-roll some of the distribution of your buffs that are timed or permanent by landing a heavy attack on the opponent. I feel like that's noteworthy and worthwhile. Maybe even allowing you to deal a little bit extra damage by burning off those buffs instead of retaining them or refreshing them with that same type of attack application. But really, I just think that there's a lot of wasted potential in having a character as awesome as Superior Iron Man is without offering a chance to be completely different from the other iterations of Iron Man, especially where Iron Patriot, though he does have some unique animations that we'll talk about in a later episode, basically behaves the same way. So I really think that it's not too much to ask that this character be overhauled and made far better than he already is, especially with as long as this character's been around in the game and how versatile he realistically should be. But what do you think? Do you agree with my opinions that this character needs to be overhauled? I certainly hope so, because that would just make the game a lot more enjoyable by having someone that much more unique by having someone even that much more unique in that roster. Be sure to let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like and make sure that you are subscribed for that daily variety content. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day.